Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Wakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Alright, this lesson is going to be about, the chariots of the Most High, and they're known to the world as so-called UFOs. Alright, and I came across this video. The title says military can't explain these UFOs at U.S. and Russian nuclear weapon sites. So, that title caught my eye, and I was like, I gotta watch this. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna get scriptures. Breaking down how, chariots are, in the scriptures, and they're for the benefit of Israel. All right.
Disclaimer. All of the stories featured in this episode of the Infographic Show come from actual military service members or other government officials, many of them vetted by independent researchers and local or national media outlets. It was late on a chilly February morning.
All right, so, first off, he said these are stories from government officials.
2007, at approximately 0230 hours, a security patrol stationed inside the nuclear weapon storage area of Nellis Air Force Base, otherwise known as Area 2, called into Central Security Control a sighting of what appeared to be vehicle headlights far outside the outer perimeter fence, a mile or two in the distance. This wasn't uncommon, as Area 2 was detached from Nellis Air Force Base, and everything from hikers to off-road enthusiasts would inadvertently stumble upon the little-known facility in the desert. Following standard procedure, the two outer security patrols, Oscars 1 and 2, were dispatched to assume overwatch positions on the reported headlights. Their job, as it often was in these dark desert nights, was to simply observe, and if the civilian vehicle approached too close to the facility perimeter, intercept it and have them turn around. As the two outer security patrols arrived atop the tall bluffs overlooking the reported sighting area, they spotted and confirmed what appeared to be two vehicle headlights approaching down the side of a nearby mountain. Inside of the nuclear weapons storage area, two additional patrols had moved close to the section of the fence the vehicle headlights were approaching, along with the site security supervisor, Security 1. A grand total of 11 Air Force security personnel were watching, when suddenly, the lights disappeared. Fearing that the oncoming off-road vehicle had turned off its headlights so as not to be tracked, Oscar 1 left its position on the bluffs and moved to an intercept position along the incoming vehicle's estimated avenue of approach. The site's security controller requested the assistance of a main base K9 unit, which had happened to be in the area, and the two patrols linked up, leaving their vehicles behind, moved out to the desert to set up an LPOP, or Listening Post Observation Post. The desert, though, was quiet. Despite the incoming vehicle having been within 2 miles of the fence line, there was no sound of a revving engine across the still, dark desert. Scans with both thermal imagers and night vision goggles revealed nothing. And then, suddenly, the radio came to life. Patrols on the interior of the nuclear weapons depot began calling in lights on either side of the dismounted Oscar 1 and K9 patrol. From their vantage point atop the tall igloo-style weapon bunkers, they could see a series of lights appear in the 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 3 o'clock of the dismounted patrolmen. Incredibly, though, the 3 men and 1 dog on the ground could see nor hear anything. Then, the site security supervisor came on the...
So it's kind of going at a fast pace, but basically what it's saying is it looked like two headlights were going to this base, and then they just disappeared. And when they started heading toward where they think that it was going, two patrol units linked up into the spot where they thought that those lights were going, and and then all of a sudden the people that were looking out on those two units, patrol units, they were being triangulated by 3 lights, and so they're trying to tell them that, hey, you got company.
Radio. Oscar 1, be advised, the lights are moving on you. The 3 mysterious lights, seen only by interior patrols, suddenly rushed the dismounted patrolman. The senior patrol leader ordered his partner and the K9 patrolman to lock and load. With lights approaching their position on the desert floor at high speed, he was taking no chances. As far as he was concerned, the mysterious and now aggressive behavior of the lights indicated hostile intent. What happened next depends on which side of the fence line you happen to have been on. For the 3 patrolmen and 1 dog on the outside of the fence line, nothing happened. The three men held their breath, M4s at the ready, and nervously scanned the desert with thermals and night vision, but spotted nothing. They even checked with the dog, who was trained to indicate if it sensed danger, and yet nothing. After a few minutes, the patrol leader called back in over the radio to ask for an update on the lights, but received nothing but static. Trying a second and then third radio, the exterior patrols got no reply and slowly walked back to their vehicles to attempt to make contact with the interior patrols again. On the inside of the fence, though, at least 24 security forces patrolmen, including the Master Sergeant Security Supervisor, had seen the lights converge on the location of the dismounted patrol and then simply disappear. Even more incredibly, though, when the exterior patrolmen finally made contact with the interior patrols, they were told they'd been out of contact for 20 minutes. Yet each man involved in the incident on the outside of the fence line swore that only 3 or 4 minutes had passed for them. Where had the other 15 minutes of time, all spent without radio contact, gone? Things would only get weirder, though, before.
So, these angels were fucking with them, man. And they have the power to do so. All right. That's why, the prophets, the men of the Lord, we go out and prophesy, these terrible things, about America and how it's going to be destroyed because we have a faith that we're going to be delivered from all this. And, we talk about how America is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. And, the chariots are going to save the elect men from that. It said that, this encounter with, so-called UFOs, which, we believe to be chariots of the Most High, they were interfering with um, time. Like, they made one group of people, swear up and down that, only 2 or 3 minutes have passed, while a whole nother group of people, 20 minutes have passed. They're interfering with communications and time, man. Like, that's real eerie. But hey, this is we get in the scriptures where chariots were making military moves for the men of the Lord. This is 2 Kings 6, and I'm gonna start at 11. It says, "Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing," and the thing that it's talking about is the king of Syria had it. He put out he gave an order for his men to set up camp in a designated spot to pretty much ambush um, some Israelite soldiers, and the Most High revealed it to you know a man of the Lord to tell the king of Israel not to put his troops in that area. And then when when the king of Syria found out, he was like, all right, who's like telling Israelites like my plan, who's like leaking information. And they're like, it's no one but Elisha the prophet. Like, he's telling the king of Israel what you whisper in your bedchambers. And so, just to give you background, and you can read it up in the chapter, it says, "And he called his servants and said unto them, Will ye not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, None, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber." Hey, and that's the power that Yahweh Bashim Al Shah has, and that he can make it known to, the scriptures say that he reveals his secrets unto the prophets, just like uh, the Most High used Daniel to break down the dreams of, the king of Babylon at that time, you know. he, the Most High is cold, man. It says, and he said, Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and that they came by night and compassed the city about. So he put out, a huge military, horses, chariots. That'd be like modern day, Humvees and choppers, man, like the helicopters and stuff, to surpass the city. Hey, we believe we're gonna be in those same scenarios. The scriptures talk about how uh, um, people shall desire to enter into a city but shall not be able. Military checkpoints. We're gonna find ourselves in this similar situation. So reading this you know history on it, and how the Elisha was delivered from this scenario. Hey, we can very well be delivered from the same in times to come. It says, therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So, one of the servants, of the Most High, he saw, the military checkpoints, if you will, you know, and that's a tight spot to be in if you're in combat, being surrounded like that, because even if you do, try to stand it out, your resources are cut off, and you can't get any, resources to you, meaning, you got what you got, and or else you're gonna starve. That's how the South lost, the Civil War. But anyways, it says, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So, Elisha just was like, hey, don't worry about them. They're small in number compared to what we have. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So, the mountain started lighting up with so-called UFOs, or as the scriptures call them, horses of fire, chariots of fire, clouds. Um, what else? A flying roll. Um, but yeah, or a great mountain. In Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, it talks about how the Son of Man, gave himself a great mountain, you know, and he flew up upon it. But, anyways, and when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. So, hey, Elisha prayed to the Most High. He said, smite these people with blindness. Just like, hey, they're messing with their communications, and the one group said that they could see the chariots from afar, closing in on them, but the people that were right next to them, hey, they said that they were using thermal scopes and heat sensors, and they couldn't find anything, and they were right next to them. Hey, same thing, man. And just like how the certain young man of the Lord, you know, he couldn't see the chariots at first, but Elisha saw them, or he may have not saw them, but he knew that they were there, So he prayed to the Most High. He said, open up the young man's eyes so that he can see. Hey, man, the Most High is cold. But, it says, and he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. So, bro, that is hilarious. Like a whole, like a whole killer squad is after this man, and he just prayed to the Most High that they were all blind, blinded, and boom, they're all blind. And he walked up to him and was like, "Oh, you're looking for Elisha? Here, I'll lead you to him." Hey, man. The Most High has a sense of humor. Oh man, that is hilarious. Hey, man. Hey, call along la y'all by Shema Shai. Hey, we're gonna be laughing in those days. You know, when others shall weep and be sorrowful. Yeah, let me grab that real quick. Two. Thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Uh, yeah. Second Ezra 2:27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. Hey man, and we at Great Millstone, we believe on these things, man. You know, when when the day of trouble comes, you know, when martial law troops, start raiding cities, you know, the Most High can have it where, uh, the troop that comes and knocks on your door is looking for you, but all of a sudden he's blind, and you just they're like, oh, you're looking for so and so. Oh, he's not in, but he's a few houses over. I'll walk you to there. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. You know, and they're gonna envy the power that we have, man. But they can't do. They won't be able to touch us. All right. The Most High watches out for His servants, and you gotta believe that. You gotta have faith that the Most High is watching over you. All right. Um. Let's see. It says, and it came to pass when they were coming to Samaria that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of these men that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, my father, shall I smite them? Shall I smite them? And he answered, Thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive with thy sword and with thy bow? Set bread and water before them, and they may eat and drink and go to their master. So he kept them alive, being like, hey, this is the power that we deal with. Like, let them go as a message. Yeah, this is a good story. I might just keep reading on this. But I wanted to make the point that, those chariots are on our side, and they're very capable of doing these things. And they benefit Israel, all right? No other nation. Matter of fact, to prove that real quick, this is Isaiah 11, and I want to start at 11. Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. And who are his people? Israel, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. All right. So his people, his remnant of his people, are going to be left from from all over the earth. All right. That was the curse that came upon Israel, is that they would be scattered among all people, all lands, all land masses, and mingled with heathen nations. So he's saying, he's going to bring the remnant of his people, all right, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations. When you go into this word, ensign is a cold definition. It says a flag or standard, especially a military or naval one, indicating nationality. So, he's going to set up, that he's going to let it be known. He's going to declare war on the nations, all right, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So 4 corners of the earth, you have Israel and Judah, all right, because that's really when the dispersion began. Was when the nation of Israel was split up into the 2 kingdoms, Israel and Judah, all right, because soon after that happened, the northern tribe or northern kingdom of Israel was taken into captivity. You know, and that's when the dispersion started happening. Um, but Israel and Judah are the same; they're brothers. All right, because it goes on to say, verse 13, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. And Ephraim is also symbolic for the northern kingdom, right? Because Ephraim was like the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So no longer will they be northern kingdom and southern kingdom. No, man, they're gonna be one, right? And even the ones that from Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Issachar, Manasseh, you know, Asher, so on and so forth. Zebulun, we're gonna be one nation again, man. But yeah, he's gonna set up an ensign, meaning he's gonna set up his military troops, and he's gonna gather his elect, and he's gonna do it through the let's see, he's gonna do it with those well, this isn't, no, this isn't what I was saying. Yeah, it is. I just gotta start up a bit. Yeah, Matthew 24. I'll start at 29. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. All right, so when the powers that be are shaken, you know, like that meaning, like, I don't know, the governments and military might of the world when they're shaken and in distress. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. All right, so here it's referred to as clouds, those so-called UFOs, you know, but that's going to be his power and great glory, just like when Jake wants to pull up on the scene, he wants to do it in style. You want to be nice dressed, and you want to be coming in the coolest vehicle, all right, the nicest vehicle. Well, so does Yahweh Shai, all right. He's coming with those those nice vehicles, all right. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. So that's we put trust in these so-called UFOs because we understand that they're angels, all right. That those are our air support, if you will, because this is Exodus 13 and 21. Let me get it in the blue letter because I wanted to go into that word. Pillar. What did I say? 13 and 21. Yeah. Exodus 13 and 21, because this is talking about the Lord leading Israel out of Egypt, right? It says, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, and led them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night, from before the people. Right? So this is also talking about, clouds, fire. These were vehicles and support to Israel. A miraculous support system. All right. When you go into that word pillar, right? it means pillar, column, upright, column. So, but let me see. It says because hold on. Because I remember I might have to go to the root word. Because I remember reading it one time and it said to like figurative support. Because like a pillar is like, let's see. I don't know, I may have changed it. Got an update or something. But I mean, you can use context clues. I mean, if it could have had the shape of a pillar, but it makes more sense to me to use that word figuratively, like you do, because what's the purpose of a pillar? Is to support a structure. And how was this, supporting Israel? It was leading them the way, all right? Just like Esau has his air support, his man, I just watched a video on something that he has called the Death Angel, all right? And what that is um, it's a plane that has two cannons and can strike from very long distances. It's on Call of Duty too. Um, it's like one of the kill streaks where it's like a plane that flies like way, like from like way far away, but it's got that cannon with like accurate precision, and he calls that his Death Angel. you know, so hey, Esau has his support system, and the Most High has his. Matter of fact, in Revelation it talks about war in heaven, and it's talking about the sky's not in the spiritual realm. All right, there's no need for war in the spiritual realm. All right, this is because all spirits are subject to the Most High. They're created for a perfect cause. All right. Um, this is Revelation 12:7. There was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. So it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which is Esau, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So the Esau's military might, it's gonna be cast out, all right, by Michael and his angels, which are gonna be, the elect too, all right, the saints of Israel. And that's gonna be a beautiful time, man. Let's see, what else did I want to grab? Let me grab Acts 1:9. It says, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. This is talking about Yahushua. And it says, and while they stood steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So, so they, Yahushua was amongst, the apostles, and then, all of a sudden he ascended into a cloud, right, into one of those UFOs, and they're dumbfounded. I shouldn't say dumbfounded, but they're amazed. They're gazing up into heaven, just like what. And then two angels had to get on him and be like, why, like, what are you looking at, man? Quit staring. He said the same Yahushua, the way he goes up, the same way he's coming back. you know And it also talks about that in Revelation. It says, let's see, it says, he cometh with clouds. Yeah, Revelation 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. So, hey, there you have it. Yahushua is coming back with those UFOs, and they're coming back to do miraculous works. You know, we always say he's coming back to do two things: to destroy and to deliver. You know, destroy the wicked and to deliver the righteous. You know, and you know the Lord, hey, the Most High has done it before, man. You know, gave you an example of the past when he's done it. Actually, two, because you know I got it in Exodus, and hey, that's what we believe. All right. So with that, I hope this video was edifying to the elect of Israel out there. You know, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and to you Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst these other nations. All right, but whose line goes back to Israel. All right, and who believe wholeheartedly on this word. Hey, peace and blessings to all you. And once again, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, Bashem Akakodash, Shalom.